Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm covering Insecure season 4 episode 4. This episode was a little bit slower compared to the last episode, but I liked it nonetheless. It still had me yelling, it still had me laughing, and Tiffany finally has her baby because I felt like she'd been pregnant for seasons. Okay, so that being said, let's jump into it. So the scene begins with Issa's tenants coming to her to confront her about the lack of water they have. All of the tenants' comments were super funny, especially like I don't know, some old man was like, "Oh, you're gonna treat us like Flint treats Michigan treats Flint." That made me crack up. She had forgotten something concerning the water company, and that's why I didn't get water. There's one guy who's talking about, oh, what is my Airbnb gonna think about it? And even though he's not legally supposed to do that, so all of that is happening. And then you see Molly and Andrew, so it seems like it's date night, and he comes over, and she was working on something, and they're getting hot and heavy, and she kind of is starfishing him, which is like the term of just kind of lying there and not doing anything. He realizes that, and then he asks her, okay, does this have to do with work? It seems like your mind is not here. I get how someone could be like that, but I'm like, then you shouldn't have asked the dude to come over because you're not available and you can't you're not available, and you don't have time to make room for him. So it was so funny because I swear she said like she's gonna be there in an hour or something. I forgot if she mentioned a time, but then by the time she's like finished writing, it's like 1:40 something in the morning, so it's almost 2, and she's like, oh crap. So then she goes and sees him, but he was sleeping. He probably didn't realize the time, and then they got to their actions. So Tiffany finally had her baby Simone, which I think that's a very cute name. And the girls are going to come over and be aunties and just see the baby, fawn over the baby, talk to the baby, and whatnot. Leading up to that point, you see Issa. She needs some kind of flyers to be proofread or finalized in order to give it to the printing company. And she's trying to contact Condola, and Condola's not texting her back and not answering her calls. And at first I was just like, Condola, don't do this. Like, if it's one thing if Lawrence is effing up your relationship, but if Issa's not, like, don't punish her. Even though I'm upset that they never talked about what happened or what did Issa say in that text, in that response. So they get to Tiffany's house, and you can see already problems arising when Issa thinks she found the perfect parking space, and when she goes to parallel park back in it, Molly is driving into it. And they kind of have this like weird, awkward, like, well, are you going or are you leaving? Issa decides to go and park somewhere else. You could still see tension between them, but it was just like, okay, this is not the time. Meanwhile, you see Lawrence and I don't know who the guy's name is, his friend, Tiffany's husband. They're talking about the baby, and he's asking him like, okay, how does it feel to be a father? And he ends up finding out that this wasn't this went against the plans, and or not against the plan, but this kind of wasn't a plan. That this was supposed to happen 2 years down the road. They were planning on doing A, B, and C, and not that they can't do it, but it's been delayed. So this kind of opens up Lauren's eyes. He's like, wow, like, oh my god. And then he says the thing that I feel like a lot of men think about is how crappy they were as men to other women, not realizing that other women are daughters. And he's kind of just like, almost like, I'm cursed because I did some questionable things with some ladies. And there's gonna be guys out there that are gonna want to do questionable things with my daughter. And Lawrence is kind of trying to tell him to not think about that. Let's think about the good stuff. And there's a couple times I like that they seem very honest about being new parents, and this is not like, oh my god, this is amazing and stuff like that. It's just like, you know, this is a very, very hard job, but I do care and love for this being. So that happens. So all the girls are together, and Tiffany's talking about the, not necessarily the joys of motherhood, but the stresses, the problems, the aftermath of giving birth. Very, very realistic topics. And things that I've heard before from other people I know who've given birth. And as being her friends, they're, oh no girl, you're good, you're glowing, oh my god, la la la. And you could tell, I don't know if Kelly and Tiffany could tell, but I could tell, like, the vibes. I was just like, oh my god. I don't know. I feel like that friend, I feel like the third wheel friend that's there and is like, please guys, can we just all get along, type of thing. And once again, Isa, she didn't take a jab at Molly, but she said something jokingly, which I felt like was low-key not jokingly. But she kind of structured it that way. And Molly took offense to it, and it was really, really funny because I was just like, I felt so awkward. I was just there like, oh my goodness. So then I think Molly says that she's gonna go and see the baby and stuff, and then you see Lawrence in the background and he's just doing stuff, and Kelly is like saying, oh, look at Lawrence, doesn't he look like he's prepared for this, doesn't he look like a family man type of thing. And I felt like in that split moment Isa pictured like him being a father, but not just being a father, being her baby father. So I was just like, and then when Lawrence was like, can we talk, I was like, okay, we're gonna hear what went on. And so they get downstairs and they're going to start talking. Well, Molly sees that, and she's with Tiffany and the baby, and she kind of makes a comment of just like, do you see, like, has Isa said anything about like us or me? I feel like she's taking a jab towards me when look what she's doing downstairs type of thing, which I'm like, you're taking a jab back towards her. And Tiffany is just like I don't, like, what's going on, guys? So then she tries to like downplay it. Isa does the same thing with Kelly too, tries to downplay it. You don't want all your friends kind of picking sides. So if I was Kelly and Tiffany, I would just team up and just say, Isa and Molly, you gotta figure your stuff out. So Isa and Lawrence are talking downstairs, and he was talking about, I think Isa was talking about Condola and like needing to get a hold of her, when Lawrence was just like, oh yeah, about that. She gets a phone call, and the phone call is about her headliner, which happens to be Schoolboy Q, dropping out. So she had just printed flyers with his name on it, so she's frustrated. She feels a bit defeated. Lawrence sees that, and Lawrence kind of puts whatever he was gonna say on the back burner, and he says, come back to me when kind of this has blown over and stuff like this. So she's just like, yeah, okay, cool. I don't remember where it happens in the storyline, but she does get a message from Nathan, so I'm just like, Nathan's not going anywhere, about him wishing her good luck and stuff, and I'm just like, that's how they always start. It's always just like, oh, I'm looking out for you, I want to do what's best for you. And then it starts like, oh, can I come over, or can we go grab coffee? And then next thing you know, you're back in. Anyways, so Molly throughout the episode has been very, very busy with work, and she has been canceling dates left and right with Andrew. And I'm very surprised how nice Andrew took it. Andrew took it as like, okay, cool. But now learning about it, he kind of took it as like, okay, like it is what it is type of thing. Because he doesn't feel like he is a priority in her life. And she doesn't make it that way either. So they have a dinner, and they're going out, and he's talking about stuff, and then Molly begins to tell him like what she's gonna do to him, the plan she has for him for the night and stuff, and he goes, oh, well, I was gonna hang out with my friends. And she's like, well, you're on a date with me, like why would you hang out with your friends after? And he was just like, you've been blowing me off this whole time. And I feel like Molly, and like I hate when she makes up her face and has an attitude. It gets me so upset, because instead of just kind of sitting back and reflecting on like, have I really been, this man is trying to tell me something, have I really been doing this? If I have, I should be outright with it. But no, she wants a cop an attitude and end the date on a sour note. But I have to say, she's picking up quicker and quicker to learn the errors of her ways. Because I'm just like, Molly, we can't, this is what, 4 seasons in, we can't go down this road again. I can't do this. So, you see after that, Molly, I don't know how soon after, but Molly ends up deciding to talk to Andrew like an adult. Meanwhile, while Molly's planning on doing this, Issa is trying to find a performer, which I'm surprised she didn't notify Condola, but I was just like, I don't understand what's going on with their relationship. But she's trying to call people and stuff. She finds this one local artist that is repped by Live Nation, which she knows Andrew works for. So she thinks, great, Molly knows Andrew. She can make a connection for me, so I can see if I can book this person. And she calls Molly at work to tell her that. And Issa is also in her own world. So Issa is not also realizing that Molly is dealing with issues, not only with their friendship, but with her personal life. And Issa doesn't make her talk, but she makes it seem like initially like, hey girl, I want to talk. And Molly's like, okay, great, let me talk. And he's like, can you set this up for me, please? And Molly says, okay. But Molly doesn't really mean that. She just said it in the time. So Molly finally goes to Andrew, pops up at his place, which I was just like, don't pop up at people's place, like, please. Or at least give like an hour's notice or something. You don't know what I was doing when I was here. So she ends up telling Andrew that I really like you and you are a priority in my life and I want to make this work. And he explains to her that like he just kind of felt neglected, but he wants to make this work as well. So I'm like, great. And she kind of explains to him too that this was probably the longest lasting relationship she's ever had, because she doesn't really date people for long. Which Andrew is actually understanding to that. And I'm just like, Molly, why can't you be understanding? Why is there always an issue with you? Anyways, so then Molly calls Issa, and Issa's just like, girl, you got the hookup, la la la. And Molly calls Issa to tell her, I'm not talking to Andrew. I'm not asking him that. So you gotta find another way or something. And this really, really hurts Issa. And I understand from both perspectives, because from like Issa's perspective, like, you're my friend, you could help me do this, like achieve my dream, and you don't want to because, and you didn't really give me a reason. It's just like, nah, I don't want to. I can understand if, oh, I don't know him that well, oh, we fought and we're not talking right now, but you didn't really give her a reason. But I also understand from Molly's perspective, because it's just like, it seems like you're kind of using me. Like, you're happy to talk to me when I'm doing something for you and not talk about like the problems we have in our relationship. So I understand from both perspectives. Anyways, it ends with Issa just done with life, and she comes home. She can go take a shower, and she turns on the shower, the water is yellow. And she's just kind of, So yeah, this ends my recap. Next, so I saw the preview for the next episode. I hope it's longer. I was like, give me 35 minutes of the block party. It's finally happening. I'm very nervous because of I would want this to be successful for Issa, and this is a very big responsibility. Plus, I feel like, okay, so is this the tipping point of their relationship? Like after this, they're not going to be friends, or and we're going to have to suffer through that and see all that. Like, I don't know if I can actually survive this. So I'm excited to see what next episode has in store for me. But once again, that ends my recap of Insecure Season 4, Episode 4. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm just a dumb cunt, fucking sick and tired of it. Maybe I could front love, maybe I could buy a zip, maybe I get fucked up. Next time I could save some. Why it's gotta be like this? Why it's gotta be that way? Put it inside. Feel so rise up, banging on that loud.